Champ is in the house, and no, it's not me or definitely not Robin, but it's one altcoin that has been absolutely crushing the competition over the last 7 days. Our friend Raul will be extremely happy today because we're going to talk about Say. Why is this thing running? What do the metrics look like under the hood? And what's the potential? We'll throw some price predictions out there for Say. Also, we'll take a look at Ethereum, what that ecosystem's up to. Prediction markets are heating up. How can you make money on AI agents and really AI and predictions markets? We'll talk about that. We'll talk about Solana and a very good partnership with what country and what does it mean for the Solana Foundation and for Solana users. We'll take a look at BTC. An important pattern is breaking out on the weekly. I could send Bitcoin to the $122,000 level. We have that and much, much more on today's episode of Sin City Crypto. Let's go.
Hola! It's your boy Big Rob back in the house. Welcome to Sin City Crypto, home of the entertainment-focused cryptocurrency content. Take old, boring, stale co-hosts and repackage it up in a fun and sexy way. You know what? The market's back. We are back to 108. We are like 3% away from a new all-time high for Bitcoin. So
Feeling it today, man.
feeling it? You're doing a lot of motion over there.
Hell yeah, brother.
You okay, man?
Hulkamania's running wild, brother.
Stop the show. It's over right now.
It is?
You did a Hulkamania impersonation?
Yeah. You grew up on the Hulk? Hulkster? No?
Yeah.
I guess not. I guess
Remember when we had a stand-in and he did the Randy Savage?
Oh my God. That guy? Didn't we have a special guest that day?
I don't even. Yeah.
What an idiot. Those of you that have been around for a long time know what we're talking about and are active watchers of our show every day. Those of you that don't, well, then sorry. That'll be an inside joke. Shout out to all of you watching. A big thank you to the mods. Let's keep the conversation going in the chat today. A lot of exciting things to talk about. As mentioned, there's one altcoin that reigns supreme, right? As you see it on the thumbnail. Altcoin champ. Rob, Say the altcoin champ. Say has been absolutely crushing. Look at the 7 days on Say here. 73.8% up from 16.6 cents to 30 cents. It did get as high as 33 cents while everything was kind of teetering, slowly going up, little spurts. Say just blew the top off. We're going to look at some metrics and some stats. In fact, let's go ahead and do that now. Couple of news and say chart movers based on news. Here's one of them. Say Network was one of the only two blockchains selected in the last round by the Wyoming Stable Token Commission, a monumental proposal for the first U.S. state-issued stablecoin. Say will be the money chain. This is a major step forward as Say continues to lead crypto innovation in America. You have this as well posted by Crypto Rover. Circle is all in on Say. According to its most recent IPO filing, Circle holds more Say than any other token on its balance sheet. To be fair, though, from a value perspective, right, you can hold a 10 trillion SHIB. Doesn't mean it's your largest holding, but it is the fourth largest holding from a dollar value standpoint, only bested by SUI, Bitcoin, and Ethereum. Say, and so why is this important? Well, Circle just had a absolutely stellar IPO launch. What's the stock price at, by the way, Rob? Have you checked Circle stock price? Let's take a peek. Come on. There we go. So it's down 8% on the day, $204. Wow, let's look at the 1 month. I mean, this thing is, from $31 to $200. Absolutely massive run. And so Circle's been in the spotlight, not just after their IPO, but before their IPO as well. And well, obviously, according to their investment sheet, they're big fans of Say. Now, you take a look under the hood. What is going on? All the metrics have been rising. You look at active addresses on the left here. I'll zoom in. absolutely skyrocketing. You take a look at active users, new users, absolutely skyrocketing since the 18th of April. Active contracts reaching all-time highs. If I zoom out and scroll back here, transaction count, all-time highs. Okay, so this is not just a speculative price move. Now, of course, some of it is speculation, but a lot of it too is what's actually happening on chain, right? Tangible things that we can point to and say this is why the price is going up. TVL, again, reaching at all-time highs. Again, the metrics are all showing positive. Daily new wallets at all-time highs. Daily deck stats, all-time highs. Transaction count, all-time highs. I mean, all-time highs after all-time highs. Take a look at their TVL. Guess what? All-time highs. Stablecoin market cap is reaching $240 million. You can see on the bottom here. That is, you guessed it, all-time highs. The point here was what I'm saying, my friends, is Say's been crushing it. I have some Say in my portfolio. It's not near my top 10, but I have some exposure. I know some of our community members have some exposure as well. And Rob, before I get into the chart and a pattern that is like almost identical, and I'll show you guys in a second, from what we saw about a year ago to what we're seeing now, that Say is going to double in price. But Rob, before I get into that, Say, it's got the news. Founder, Jay Jog, used to work at Robinhood. There's a connection there. They're looking to be a centralized exchange on steroids. What are your thoughts on Say? We always talk about, it's just another layer one. Everyone says they're fast, but is there something to this one, man? What are your thoughts?
I mean, on paper, it doesn't really have anything that we haven't seen already from other layer ones or EVM compatibility. And so it seems like perhaps they're just plugged in with the right people. You know, maybe the background with Robinhood, the relationships there, some kind of very close relationship with Circle, of course. Circle heavily invested there. And so it seems like it's just the traditional crypto or legacy crypto companies seem to have taken a liking to Say. And, well, I mean, it has the throughput. It has the EVM compatibility. It's focused on trading and DEXs. And so it doesn't stand out from on paper, but do you really need to? I mean, at the end of the day, like, it's still outside the top 50. I mean,
numbers
or right at the top 50. Is it in the top 50 now? Okay. So, yeah, I mean, this was something that was right around, number 100 on the market cap list not too long ago. And yet here now broken into the top 50, over 50% on the 7-day. I know you're going to get in the chart, so I won't go into the price dynamics of it, but it's obviously pretty hot. And we see that when things get hot, have a big community, also have a lot of institutional interest, as this does, it should, in my opinion, with the bull market continuing, make some more room up this leaderboard here.
Where do you think ultimately?
I think Toncoin is a good comparison as far as market cap. I don't know if it really breaks into the Avalanche Stellar Chainlink side. I mean, SWE would be the most bullish, but I think it's just moved too much. But breaking into the top 20 here, or getting right to that, I think is probably realistic. So somewhere around a $6 to $7 billion market cap, and currently sitting at 1.6. You're talking about roughly a 4x from where it is now. And so that puts my kind of estimate in the short to medium term within the next, I would say, 6 months. By the end of the year, I would put Say at over $1. I think that's probably where I would go. I think that you would probably see a pullback here within the coming weeks. I think that it's likely to run a little bit more. And if it does not, if I see a big pullback, if I see it drop down to 19 cents, it probably is going to consolidate there for a little bit and then off to the races.
The 3 S's, right? Solana, SWE, Say. It's like same playbook. Hyped, lots of VC money, fast, scalable, all the buzzwords you hear, and then the thing just takes off, and you see their metrics take off. We saw what happened to Sui. In fact,
Say is a Cosmos SDK, blockchain, and so this one is it's hype.
Yeah.
It's hype as EVM, and so you brought up Solana, and you brought up Sui. These are not in that camp, right? And so Solana, it's on its own layer one, and so. Yeah, I mean, it kind of stands out in that regard, right?
I wouldn't say it stands out. I mean, sure, you can make that argument, but for me, that's not the argument. For me, the argument is
you're bullish on ETH. You said that you think it's going to get over 10.
You're bullish on ETH too, remember?
I was bullish on ETH
yesterday. You were super bullish.
No, I wasn't. No. So if you're bullish on ETH, I mean, it's
saying note to self, buy at.
What happened last bull market cycle? We saw the likes of Polygon absolutely murder the top 100 charts. And so if ETH rallies, what ETH play is going to go with it? Which one's going to perform the best?
Hex.
Which one?
Hex.
Why?
Pulse chain. Because it's better than ETH, right? This would be a good time for a sound effect to break the. Yeah, too late now though. Okay. Okay. What was your question? When ETH ecosystem?
Yeah, when ETH pops off, I mean, don't you think? I mean, that to your accord, you think that ETH is going to rally and get up to 10,000? You said ETH's going to outperform Solana this bull market, and
I didn't say this bull market. It was at a specific point moving forward. I said it would outperform.
I think I said by the beginning of the year.
I don't know. Either way, yeah. So what's your question?
For the third time. But I'm going to ask the question, and then you're going to make some weird comment about another crypto, or there's going to be a Trump comment,
you have my word?
Some movie from the 80s.
You have my word? I will get to the bottom of the question once you ask it one more time.
Okay. When ETH rallies,
yes,
like you said before,
yes.
If your theory happens, ETH performs very well in the next 6 months. What's going to be the top performers in the ETH network? Do you throw Say into that category? It's not a scaling solution, but is EVM compatible?
But you can say that about everything. Everything's EVM compatible, right?
No, it's not. There's only Solana is not EVM compatible. Cardano is not EVM compatible. Bitcoin is not EVM compatible.
Pretty sure you're wrong on Solana and Cardano. Almost positive. Bitcoin, I think you're right.
There is bridges and there's ways to interact, but from EVM compatibility, it's outside, right? That was my whole point here, is that
Solana is definitely EVM compatible.
Okay.
And Cardano, it says, is not yet.
What did it say about Solana?
Solana is. Majority of alts are EVM compatible. Like if you're launching an altcoin and you're not EVM compatible, what are you doing, right? You want to be able to tap into the largest network, the largest ecosystem, the largest TVL in the entire world, and that's on Ethereum. And so to answer your question,
Jesus, there it is.
When ETH runs, I was answering your question, and then you were like, it's not compatible. So to answer your question, I'm sticking with my three categories, right? Stable coins, AI, RWA, not in any particular order. And of course, memes as well. And I think memes will come in the back end. Speaking of memes, got an interesting story later today. Should be a fun one. But when you look at historically, when ETH runs, it's not just inside the ETH ecosystem. It's really everything that runs. It's kind of like the tide that lifts all boats, right? And so, yeah, those are my thoughts. I think stable coins, especially institutional DeFi, I think is going to be a big one. The likes of Aave, Curve, Convex. I say these names all the time, but this is what I believe in. And then artificial intelligence.
So Solana is not EVM compatible. It is through Neon and also through Solang Complier. So not natively EVM compatible. So it's you got to use bridges. And so we love bridges here in crypto. So
this actually is going to make me go and figure out which of these blockchains are EVM compatible, because I could have swore Solana was EVM compatible. But either way, Dad Bod Hustle, I'm going to answer that question, and then I'm going to go to the Say chart. It said, we still high on ICPs at AI Playbook, or just stick with Tau? I have my ICP. I haven't sold any. I'm not putting any more money in ICP. If I do have money and I got Tau and ICP in front of me and it's an AI play, I'm going with Tau. So hope that helps answer your question. Okay, let's talk about Say. Say on the daily, consolidated, big breakout. Now the big breakout happened right at its 200-day moving average, which we broke above, and we are currently trading above our top band. But we saw a little bit of a retracement after seeing a high of around 33.5 cents. Now, something I noticed that is very, very, very familiar is this move from the 28th of March last year, 2024. We had a big breakdown below our 200 AMA. We consolidated, put it in an inverse head and shoulders, moved up, broke above, failed, chopped sideways, and then we had a big rally. Well, take a look at this. Take a look at this pattern and how it kind of sits with where we're at right now. Okay. Now this looks pretty close. Okay. We had a big spill off. We had some local highs, right? We ended up making lower lows and lower highs. And we had an inverse head and shoulders. 1, 2, 3. We broke above, and this is where we are now, right here. Broke above. Now, is this going to follow suit? Are we going to see a little bit of a retracement? If we do, we should expect this thing to come back down around 17.6 cents if it plays out like it did back in 2024. And then ultimately a rally up to around 53.62 cents. On my note, when we saw that top, that was around 72.8 cents. This was from the forecast we took here, 72.8 cents. That was during the end of 2024. I think there's a lot more velocity and momentum in the markets now. And so do I think that 60-cent level, right? If this thing does map out the way, this chart says, that 52 to 53-cent level, is that going to be the top? No. I think with momentum, with velocity, with the market conditions being prime for altcoin season, I think, I'm kind of in Rob's boat there. I think $1 is a good starting mark. And then depending on what kind of partnerships they bring on, who are they onboard? What does their stats and metrics look like 6 months from now? Any other partnerships? I think those are going to be important questions. But you look at volume. Volume's been absolutely exploding on Say. And so, again, I love rallies that you can point to and say, this is why you rallied. And we look at Say. We showed you the metrics, the back-end stuff, and, well, we can tell you exactly why it rallied. So, bullish on Say. Let me know, you guys in the comment section. Are you all bullish on Say? If you are, put a 1 in the chat. If you're not, put a 2 in the chat. Curious to see what the chat thinks. There's these corporate treasury companies. Majority of them do Bitcoin.
Yep.
Okay, let's play a game here. This is a scenario. You are a shareholder of my company, and I'm the chairman of the board.
Can I sell?
Hold on.
Okay.
I haven't told you what I did yet. You want to sell already? You're an ass. Anyways, I come to you. I hold a shareholder meeting. Guys, we're really excited to announce we're taking our company into the digital age. We're doing a corporate treasury of crypto. And you're like, yeah, Bitcoin. SPX 6900. We're going to hold that as a corporate treasury. Rob, what's your next move? Do you immediately sell? Do you call me a cuckoo head, or do you applaud me?
I mean, I personally don't like it. I tell people, I think that institutions should have way less risk. There should be way more risk tolerance for institutions versus retail. And so when I talk to people that aren't really that plugged into crypto, they're new, that's kind of how the life of Rob and Dave work, is that outside these walls, as soon as anyone finds out we have the crypto channel, they're like, they want to know what they should buy. And my reply is the same.
Ever asked me that.
Yeah, no. My reply is exactly the same every time. I'm like, please just buy Bitcoin. Just Bitcoin. If you please, you on the other hand, you tell them every meme coin that's popular, and
I was
then
actually showing the AC Tech yesterday how to buy DKing.
Yeah.
He's got XRP. He's got Polygon. Told him to sell that. So, anyways,
we've had a lot of issues with the AC, so keep doing what you're doing, bro.
Trying to make my boys some money here, dog. Okay. So the scenario I gave you might have been fictitious from me, but it is not, because apparently SPX 6900 sees the first ever corporate treasury allocation. And they put out a whole post talking about tokenomics. And yeah. So yeah, Rob.
I mean, people are going to do what they're going to do. I mean, in the same way that back to the advice from myself, and so companies and individuals are going to do what they want to do. And so have at it, man. Go buy some meme coins too while you're at it. You know?
Wow, so you're applauding this move?
I don't care what other companies do. I genuinely don't. I could care less if they don't buy crypto. I could care less if they buy crypto.
That's not the point, Robin. We host a live show. We give our opinions. If we sit here and say we don't care about,
I'll tell you what
like this. I want to know. Do you care?
I literally said I don't. What?
Well, I care. And this is complete bullshit.
So what are you going to do? You're going to go outside? You're going to pick it? You're going to get in the phone and then call the
but
board
I'm going to
member?
voice my opinion on my
Who
platform.
cares? You know what?
Do you mean? The people
because they're going to get burned, okay? They're going to get burned. They're going to get flushed out.
Okay.
Those people are going to lose money. And then we're going to host another article 6 months from now about how bad of an idea that was. And
this is what I'm looking for.
And so be it, bro. Like,
that's what that's
my thing is that I want to target, and I'm just from my perspective, is like we open the show, we talk about I want to target what's trending, and I want to give our viewers an opportunity to get insight from the research that we've done to make them some money. I don't give a damn what institutions do and what they decide to buy with their treasury money with the board members that are all multimillionaires.
What do you mean?
Give a damn less, bro. I want to know what is trending, what is
big
going to make
money
you
buying?
money.
They're buying SPX 6900.
That's dumb money, bro.
Okay.
So what's your counter argument here to this whole situation?
It's not.
You think
it's not a good idea.
Okay.
It's very interesting seeing what's going on in the space. Robin, I'm going to send it over to you. Let's look at some market charts here, guy.
All right. So getting into the markets, let's take a peek. We did see Bitcoin earlier get up to 1081. And so looking on the 24 hours here, you can see that we were at the start of yesterday's show right around 105,000. And well, lo and behold, we're at 107. So take a look at the 1 year here. You can see that we look like we're about to make a breakout here. I think that we came down, we retested this 80,000. We saw remember we saw, what was it, 76,000? Ooh boy, that was only 2 months ago. Think about that. I mean, you could have had a 50% gain on Bitcoin from a spot buy at 74,000 to the price it is now, and more than likely a 2x here within the next few months. So price of Bitcoin's looking good, which means we know what's coming next. It's alts, because the alts have fallen asleep at the wheel while Bitcoin is in the driver's seat. And so you see here, we got a little bit of movement, but I'm expecting that alts are going to wake up and rally here as soon as we see the new all-time highs. What's your biggest? What are you eyeballing the most out of altcoins? Let's just say, for example, Friday, Bitcoin's at 118,000. What do you think the biggest altcoin mover is going to be? The number one out of from number 1 to 100, which altcoin, if you had to just throw a dart, an educated dart, which one do you think is going to rally the most if Bitcoin's at 118 on Friday?
Virtual protocol.
Yeah. I like it.
You say you like it?
I said I like it. I don't have a counter argument to that. I think it is trending. It is pulled back briefly. Where's virtuals? What's virtuals on the market cap list? Is it
Should be at like number
30? Right?
No, 70s or 60s.
Oh, is it? Ooh. Oh yeah. Yeah. So this is pulled back. Take a look on the 1 month. You can see here. I've been keeping a close eye on virtuals. Got up to 250, now at $1.40. The 1 month doesn't look too good, right? But what I think it's doing is gearing up for the next rally. Look at the 1 year. You can see here, I do expect another parabolic run up from virtuals. So I absolutely agree, dude. I absolutely agree. We've seen this time and time again. Take a look at what we've seen this bull market from the likes of the big boys. So let's take a peek at Cardano as an example. Let's take a look on the 1 year. Yeah. So here we go. So we had two double tops here. So going back to the end of 2024, basically going into December, we saw Cardano get to $1.20, pull back, get back above $1.13, and then it sold off. And then a couple months ago, or 4 months ago now at this point, we saw, or 3 months ago, we saw Cardano back up over $1. And so we've had two rallies out of this bull market for Cardano. I think the same is going to happen when we take a look at Virtuals Protocol. I think that you're going to get two attempts at new all-time highs. Where's Virtuals? So we haven't went back and tested that all-time high. Massive community, smaller market cap, lots of activity, and a lot of people are buzzing about Virtuals Protocol. Also, our favorite top AI pick, at least at this market cap level. And I think it goes back and tests new all-time highs very shortly. And so I agree with you. I think that is a solid pick. I was going to actually say another one that has been asleep at the wheel this bull market has to be Caspa for me. I think Caspa is due for a big rally. We've seen it had some breakouts. And so we know the community's there. We know that interest is there. I think the only thing really holding it back is perhaps a large exchange listing. And, we can always play the what if game. Where is Caspa at? Yes, but there it is. We can always play the what if game. Well, what if Bitcoin gets to 118 and also gets a listing at the same time? It's hard to argue that wouldn't be extremely bullish. But on the 1 year here, you can see that for 15 cents, it's had some efforts to break out, right? It went down to 10 cents, rallied up to 18, and then it just has been selling off. But lower lows here on the 1 year. But you look at the 7 days. We've had a little breakout. You look at the 1 month, still down and to the right. But I think that big breakout. My number one pick here for a potential breakout with Bitcoin's price movement would be Caspa. What do you think about Caspa?
I wouldn't be surprised. I'm not going to pick one that's been running. I'm not going to pick Say. I'm not going to pick Hyperliquid.
Yep.
Right? You want to pick one.
Although you could get the Solana effect. You had last bull market. Solana rallied when Bitcoin broke new all-time highs. And then every time Bitcoin broke all-time highs, Solana outperformed everything. And so it can happen.
You know what's another one that's interesting to me is XLM. XLM was crushing it. It had a massive move. Look at this. From 8 cents to 60 cents, and it's been consolidating and chopping sideways. It broke out of this falling wedge, right? This is on the weekly. And how far are we away from our 200 AMA on the weekly? About 17% away from our 200 MA on the weekly. And for me, you look at potential narrative, right? Stablecoin, Genius Bill, XLM is in that space. It's been in consolidation for a while. Don't be surprised. In fact, I'm torn between XLM and Virtual because a lot of people were looking at Virtual's protocol over the last 2 weeks and saying, the Genesis is dead. Every coin that's launching, every token that's launching is essentially getting sold off immediately. We just had an extremely successful launch. Watch XBT. This thing came in at a 200K valuation, got up to 5 million, and it's holding steady at 4.1. So a lot of money, a lot of inflows, and I think once the market turns around, and there are some updates coming, right? We're working with the Virtuals team to help them with some ideas and things. And so there's a lot coming in the pipeline. I'll tell you one thing, these guys do not stop working. You have that, and then you have XLM, which again, just weeks of consolidation. I think it might be the perfect storm. Markets turn, Bitcoin all-time high, Genius Bill gets signed by the president, maybe a big announcement with Stellar, Jed McCaleb. I don't know, but I think either way, those two would be my top 2 picks for a big rally. I did want to talk a little bit about Bitcoin as far as price action. I'm going to pull up the chart here. 107,393 on the weekly. Bitcoin looks like it is breaking out of a massive bull flag on a very high time frame, as you can see here. Now, this measured move, my friends, depending on where we break out, if the candle breakout is here, you're looking at $140,000 Bitcoin. If we do come back and test the bottom of this range and then break out, say from this 100K level, you're looking at $133,500 BTC. Now, of course, this can get completely invalidated. No one knows, but probabilities say this thing is going to break to the upside. Take a look at Market Cypher B on the weekly. Nothing there. Take a look on the daily. Bitcoin had a really nice bounce off its 200 AMA V-shaped recovery, which is what you want to see. Although I will tell you, decreasing volume on the move up. So the bulls are losing a little bit of steam. And if we top out here, that would give us 3 lower highs. There's your high, lower high. And if we stop here, this will be your 3rd lower high. Something to keep an eye on decreasing volume. But again, we're in the market cycle where anything can happen. One piece of news, FA goes out the window. FOMO kicks in, euphoria kicks in. That could be something as simple as a Fed cutting rates. I don't know. But at the end of the day, we all know where Bitcoin is going in the long term. Just some price action levels. I would not be looking at a long right now. We did get up to around 108.2. We're seeing a retracement. If we do happen to get back to 105.8, I would be very interested in entering into a long position. As long as this holds, we'll take a peek at volume when the time does come. We go ahead and set an alert at 105.8. Once price hits, we'll take a look at what Market Cypher B is telling us, what volume is telling us, and what price action and the candles are telling us individually. Now, we talked about what we think is going to be big gainers. I want to ask you, what are your top 2 altcoins that you're just disappointed with, that you're ready to sell the bag, take an L, move it into something that you think has more upside potential?
Now, there's a lot of underwhelming cryptos, but there's some that come to mind where I'm just like, hey man, the chart just hasn't looked good. And we're getting further along in the bull market, and at some point you got to ask yourself, if not now, ever? Question mark? Because all right, I'm going to go down the list, right? Here's some ones that in the shorter term is disappointed. Avalanche, but it hasn't really underperformed the rest of the altcoins. It is slipping to Bitcoin, but so are a lot of projects here in this kind of realm. But the same said, I will be keeping an eye on projects that don't pop off this next Bitcoin rally. And so if we get in a scenario where Bitcoin's at that 120 and beyond price, and we start seeing some altcoins pop off, if we start seeing stagnation, I'm going to be concerned. And I'll go down the list. Maybe Stellar. I know you just hyped up Stellar, But if it doesn't rally, like you said, like if it misses that big pump and it kind of hangs out where it is, maybe it rallied early. I do think that there's two sides of the fence here. Stellar could just take off to another big rally like we saw at the beginning of the bull market. It also rallied. To think about this for Stellar, I know, and I'm not trying to sell Stellar here. I'm not trying to make a case for selling it, but I do want to mention that Stellar happened to rally at the same time that XRP did. XRP rallied because, well, the SEC dropped the court case entirely, right? It was completely done and over with, and there was a regime change in the political side from the U.S., and so we understood why XRP rallied. Stellar went with it. Do you expect XRP to rally again? I think the two essentially are kind of tied to the hip. So I think if you're going to expect Stellar to 5x from where it is now, you're probably going to need a 5x or at least a 3x out of XRP. And so if XRP doesn't rally because it already did very well off of the news of the SEC and it just has consolidated since then, I wouldn't expect Stellar to run. So I think it's dependent on XRP to see it take the next leg up. Also, of course, you're going to need Bitcoin to rally. But some ones I'm going to keep an eye on, Avalanche. But I am still heavily invested in Avalanche. I've not sold any, and so I am not swaying from there. But I always reevaluate my position, and so I am locked in, but I'm not married to Avalanche. So I'll keep an eye on it. And so I'm expecting it to rally.
So you're disappointed, but you're not selling it.
No, exactly. Yeah, but like I said, there's a lot of projects that are underperforming Bitcoin right now. So it's not like it's a extremely odd phenomenon here with Avalanche. But it was in the top 10, and now it's at number 17. So it is something to keep an eye on. Going down the list, Polkadot. Not the worst choice. I think there are a couple things, I guess, the publicly traded, a lot of money going out for advertising.
Really cool logo.
Maybe it rallies. It wouldn't surprise me. I'm staying away from it. But I wanted to go down the list here. So I think Polygon is probably dead in the water.
Really?
I think so. It still hasn't pumped. It's a scaling by proxy solution to.
They've consolidated a lot of what they're doing, and they've gotten rid of some people there. So Sandeep has kind of taken over the Polygon Foundation or Polygon Labs. A couple of the founders are out.
But you see that tells me more, right? That tells me to stay away, right? While other projects have founders that are, taking the next leg and really working on the roadmap, you got Polygon scrapping the playbook and starting from scratch, right? Do you go all in on the NFL team that has the last place in the league and got the number 1 draft pick, and they're restructuring and fired their coach?
Depends on who's sitting in that number 1 slot. Is it Peyton Manning? Then yeah, I'm in.
Yeah, but even Peyton Manning took years for the Colts to be relevant. And so that's my point. It's going to take time for them to come back, and we're in the middle of a bull market. I ain't got time for that. And so that's why I'm pretty concerned. There are some. I was going to ask you, and so basically, I think Polygon is the one that I'm most disappointed in.
On Polygon?
Or Pudgy Penguins here at the very bottom. Pudgy Penguins at number 99.
You're more. Would you rather hold Pudgy Penguins or Polygon?
Polygon.
Really? I'd rather hold Pudgy Penguins.
Really?
Yeah.
That's for real?
Yeah. Dude, they're in Walmart stores everywhere. They're getting some really, really big legacy names behind them. Like really big.
Their thing is a plush.
I don't give a shit. What do people want? Ain't nobody want Polygon.
That's very different.
There's a reason when you. Never mind.
Gala also a little disappointing, but I do.
Are you
but
ready to punt on Gala?
We haven't seen gaming rally. If we see gaming pop off in crypto, and we see the likes of Avalanche or what are some other gaming plays? I'm drawing a blank here.
You got AVAX. You can throw Sui in there. You can throw Solana in there. Gala, GFL. You can throw Beam in there. There's a few. I don't know. You want to go specific games, Illuvium, but that thing I think is pretty dead. Axie Infinity, right?
Yeah.
So,
But if I see if gaming rallies and Gala does not, then I'm done, 100%. No, it's still got a nice catalog. I know our buddy Matt, he plays a lot of crypto gaming. He said that everyone's fleeing Gala, so it doesn't sound good. I will not buy any Gala at this point.
you did?
I said I will not.
He said people are fleeing Gala.
Yeah.
I don't play video games, so I don't know.
Yeah, and so he's pretty plugged into that ecosystem. So he doesn't seem to have any faith in Gala either.
Bielos said, marketing is crazy important. You could have the best product, but no marketing will kill it. 100% agree, dude. And that's really in every business, especially in crypto.
Yeah, you need adoption. And adoption, nobody's going to adopt something if they can't find it or they don't know anything about it or understand it. And so, yeah.
I have one.
I wanted to say real quick before I move off, out of these legacy projects here, and then you can turn around and do the same one that you're the most disappointed in. But out of the legacy here in the middle tier range, which one do you think is going to perform the best? And so,
give me names.
You got VeChain, Polygon. I know how you feel on Polygon. I was going to ask you this earlier, but I already know how you feel on Polygon.
Yeah.
VeChain, Polygon, and Cosmos. And so
perform the best.
Yeah. I think throw Algorand in there. Algorand, Cosmos, VeChain.
VeChain.
VeChain, Cosmos, Algorand.
Yeah, VeChain. I would rank them. If I were to rank them, I would go VeChain, Algorand, Cosmos, Polygon. What about you?
I would probably. I'm a little bit more bullish on Algorand. I think that I would put VeChain, Algorand, Polygon, Cosmos.
You're more bullish on Polygon than Cosmos?
Yeah.
Really? Oh, okay. I could have swore you just said Polygon's dead. Unless you think
it is, but
unless you think Cosmos is dead and the body is rotting and decomposing.
But what's the point of the Cosmos token? Like, what is it? I mean, it's a governance.
Listen, guy.
It's
you're asking the wrong questions here. Are people going to want to buy it? And the answer is no. But I'm still more bullish on it than Polygon. I don't know. I think Bielos made a good point, man. Marketing. Add in there, can you get the average person in your ecosystem? And can you get the crypto native people in your ecosystem? And so interesting conversation I was having with the intern over at Virtuals. They're looking to branch out outside of just the crypto bros. And we're brainstorming ideas. And these guys are always ahead of it, man. You have to. You want to take your project to the next level. You want to garner the users. Got to do something. You got to connect with those people. You're not going to connect with them saying, we're the fastest EVM compatible to finality. No one gives a shit. No one even understands it unless you're like a crypto native. No one cares. Build apps that are easy to use, that I can download as an app on my phone, that's easy to navigate. And then you got me as a user. So the last thing I want is for me to be bullish on a project and ecosystem. I'm trying to onboard my friends, but I got to give them a book on how to do it. No one wants to do that.
Or just selling them the hype promise, like you said, like, oh my God, it can do 8 trillion transactions per second. Like, congratulations. Like
people care about their experience on the chain.
You know what you need? If you want to be relevant, you want to be in the top 10, you need to have an app on your phone that you're excited to tell somebody about. Where I come in and I'm like, David, you got to download this, man. I'm like, you know what? This Jupiter app, game changer. whatever the app is, right? Jupiter just popped in my head because that was one that you were really excited to tell me about. And so when it first dropped, and I was like, what's the Jupiter airdrop? I'm like, I don't know about airdrops. And then you're like, hey, man,
Like Solana,
this is like game day changing.
like Solana's dApps crushed it, man. They crushed it. Jupiter, I know Pump.Fun was a net negative, but it got people excited. It got people on the platform. Anyone can launch a meme coin, right? Then you got the people that take advantage of it and scam people. But these are the things. And so no one cares about the back end stuff. They really don't. You got to get your front end ready and get people in there.
But the maxis do. They'll tell you all day how great the engine is.
How far?
Nobody's driving a car.
Your price. Can the maxis triple your price?
Nope.
No. You need people in there. Okay, my one that I'm about to sell. I don't know about all of it. I'll probably keep a little bit. Is Near Protocol. This thing has been just like, man, I think I don't know, man. I'm trying to be respectful. We've had Ilya on the show. I think they're missing the mark on the marketing, dude. I really do. I mean, your company started off as AI, and we had a massive run in artificial intelligence. And Near did this. 80% since December of last year, when everything was running, making all-time highs or close to all-time highs. Near was down 80%. AI wave came and Near got nothing. Zero. So what's to say that when the next wave comes, and some argue that the next wave is already here, and Near is still trading? I mean, how far is it from its 200-day moving average? It's 42% away from just getting back to being a structurally bullish chart. 50%, just so we can say, okay, it's no longer in a downtrend. It's in a kind of an uptrend now. Let's see what it does. And then you look at on-chain stats. Transactions and daily active users just been trending down since the peak of the beginning of the year. Gas used, trending down, right? You look at literally every metric. Transactions, right? Relayer performance by dApp, trending down. Meta transactions, trending down. The only thing trending up is circulating supply. TVL, trending down. So there's no hype. On-chain stats under the hood tells you it's not really doing anything. People aren't really using it. And the one sector that we were bullish on, it came and went, and Near went down 80%. So for me, I'm down fairly big. I did take a little bit of profit, but the bag I'm holding now, I'm a little underwater, and I'm willing to cut those losses. I'm looking to get back to like $2.50 on Near, and I'm probably out 90% of my Near bags. If things change, something else happens, I might be willing to get back in, but I was at like $50 to $60 on a Near price prediction, and I know I had a little bit of a rally, but my God, man, very, very disappointing.
Yeah, I talked about, me keeping an eye on Avalanche, right? Avalanche, right from the top 10 to number 17 on the market cap list. So it hasn't performed well, but Near Protocol was right there. It had not flipped Avalanche, but it was pretty damn close to Avalanche. It was in the same conversation. We talked about Avalanche, we talked about Near, and you're looking at Near Protocol at number 34 in the market cap list, $2 billion market cap compared to Avalanche, which I'm keeping an eye on, and that's at $7.5 billion market cap. And so it's just not only underperforming AI, not only underperforming Bitcoin, but it's outside of the layer ones that are even not doing well. And so it's and we're not here to hate on a project just to simply hate on it. But at the end of the day, we're here to make some money. And we're backing up our investments personally with projects we believe in. And Near is one that we believed in. It had sound fundamentals, but at some point, if people just aren't adopting it and it's not getting growth from the ecosystem, then at some point you got to cut the cord. And so I don't blame you for questioning it. In the same regard, big fan of Avalanche. At some point, if Avalanche draws down 80% from where it is here, I gotta let it go, right? And so, you just got to find that point where you're like, hey, you know what? This is not the move for me. And so I always tell people, I'm like, don't put in $1,000 and write it down to zero. It's okay to sell it at $200 if you know it's going to go to zero or you feel like it's going to go to zero, right? The worst thing you can do is, take 10 grand and buy something and then take it all the way down to, well, I don't care. I'm just going to let it go to zero and whatever. Maybe it comes back. And then next thing you know, it's at $50. That's not the way to go, right? Always move laterally and then try to make up some ground if you're down. If you don't think that there's going to be a rebound.
So I don't know if you hold any near, but I mean, what do you, are you ready to hunt on near, or you want to give it some more time? I mean, do you have near, by the way?
I don't. I did at one point. And I had sold it prior to that December high. So, yeah. You know what? I think you are a lot more bullish on AI, and I know historically we've talked about AI and anything that AI touches is going to rally, and I was always a little hesitant on that. And just like kind of like all sectors, right? When we saw any sector rally, yeah, anything that had association with it. Remember, Meta rallied, the company, and then anything that was metaverse related rallied. And then, at the end of the day, like there's only...
Well, AI is definitely a bubble. Like, I know everything's a bubble, but AI is a bubble. The whole slap AI in what you're doing and it's going to rally. We're seeing it and it's going to pop.
And so, I mean, if your bread and butter is AI, or you're touting that, at least you're saying like, hey, look, I'm a major player in AI, and you rally. If you don't deliver, then you're gonna have the opposite effect there, right? That rally up from the promise is gonna be a rally down on the deliverables. And so I'm not saying there's nothing there, but I'm just saying that like I'm not seeing people use it. And so in that regard, hasn't caught market adoption, at least not in AI. Maybe it's around the corner. I don't know, but I'm not quite as bullish on AI and crypto as you are. And now when I say that, I don't think that it's that big of a sector that it's going to just take like everything, right? Like I think DeFi, for example, is big enough to prop up 20 different cryptos. I think that RWAs is enough to prop up 20 different cryptos. But I think that AI, because AI is not necessarily contingent on using crypto, AI works perfectly fine in a web browser. AI works perfectly fine as an API. And so you have to explain a very particular use case scenario where, hey, AI is better with crypto. And that's not wide enough to bring up 20 different AI projects. And so you're only going to get a handful of winners. Now, when you talk about DeFi can't be done in traditional finance. So DeFi could prop up more than just one project because, hey, DeFi is going to be a large sector. And we know that DeFi has to be in crypto. It can't be through Bank of America. It's not DeFi. But AI, I think majority of AI is going to be done on centralized servers through centralized companies. And I think just a very small portion of AI will be done on crypto-based networks because, hey, crypto does have some advantages when it comes to compute, when it comes to security, when it comes to other things as well. So for that reason, I'm not quite as bullish on crypto and AI, but there will be some big winners. I think BitTensor is probably one that you've brought to light to me, and so I'm pretty bullish on that one.
Got you on the BitTensor, huh? Mm-hmm. The Tau.
Kuzakan. He says, Rob, the AI Scrooge. AI is just massive. I'm a Scrooge when it comes to crypto. Give me 5 reasons AI is better on crypto there, Kuzakan.
Don't you put my boy Kuzakan on the spot like that, man.
Give me 5 reasons that AI is better on crypto than through a centralized company. I'm curious to see what your answer is.
That's messed up, dog. Guys, I want to remind you, Rare Evo is coming to Las Vegas. And so If you don't have your Rare Evo tickets, well, first things first, if you are a Las Vegas local, or a Nevada, if you have a Nevada driver's license, you get a free ticket. You get a free ticket when you click that link I just put in, and then in the discount code, promo code, put Sin City Comp, C-O-M-P. Okay, so that's the first thing. Second thing, if you're not a Nevada resident and you want to come, buy your ticket with our link, and we're going to be upgrading one person for free to VIP All Access. Also, I'm working with the Rare Evo team. We're going to do some other giveaways. And so we're really excited. It's one of our favorite conventions. I'll just say this is my favorite convention that I've ever been to. These guys are amazing. I'm so excited for what they're doing this year. They're going to be bringing a lot of big speakers and projects. And so if you haven't bought your ticket, use the link I just put in there. Buy your tickets. And if you're a Nevada driver's license holder, make sure to use that code because you'll get it for free. Just don't try to pimp the system, because when you come down here, they're going to ask you for your ID. And if you don't have a Nevada ID, they're going to make you pay or not even let you in. So with that being said, that's all I got. Anything else?
That's it.
Gina, thank you all very much for tuning in. Appreciate every single one of you. You hope you enjoy the content. Make sure to hang tight. You'll be redirected to Assisting Trading, where Mag will be running the show today. Till tomorrow, guys.
Sin City Crypto. Everybody know what we here for. Entertainment and info. Gonna show you how to get that big dough. So every day stay tapped in. For big facts, no capping. With Bitcoin, if you're in, then you win. We divide the pie with no fraction. It's Big Rob, David. I split the game, but they gave it. Name the coin that's your favorite. I got dry powder, why save it? To the OGs, new beginners. Special shout out to the well members. Buy a dip, sell winners. Ain't really nothing you can tell sinners. Tune in for the latest new flavors. They gonna teach us mean coins. They polarizing like barbecue chicken pizzas. I laugh with a major grin. Laggers, we trade them in. Baddies, they came to sin. And sinners gon'